Welcome to Miss V, the Storyteller Podcast, Season 5. That's right, Season 5. I am so excited you decided to listen to one of my stories. I am your host, Miss V, the Storyteller, and the story I have for you today, it is called The Great Flip and Fall. Yes, hilarious. But before we start the story, please do me a favor, push the thumbs up button. That's the button that looks like this. If you're looking on YouTube, the like button and the share button. Oh, also a subscribe button. So please do me that favor and share it with someone, just to make their day, especially the one today, because it is hilarious. So let's get started on the story. So some time before the pandemic, my family and I used to go to Walt Disney World to for family vacations. We would take all the kids. They were younger and they enjoyed it. They loved it. So we would rent this big house. The house had all the amenities that you would need. It had a game room. It had a pool outside and a hot tub. It had a grill. So it had a lot of things to keep the kids entertained. Y'all know kids. But anyway, so we would pack up the car and we would drive to Disney World, Florida. And once we got there, we would unpack the car and the kids would stay there. And of course, the first thing they wanted to do was get in the pool. So they would get in the pool and then we would go to the grocery store to buy food for the week. We would come back, and on the way back, if you've ever gone to Disney World, you know what I'm about to say. They have these huge balloons up and they have all these signs about free tickets, free tickets. Well, of course, with the free tickets, you have to listen to some type of timeshare. Depending upon how many kids we had, that would depend on what timeshare because they would give the most tickets. Whoever gave the most tickets, that's where we went. So we would plan to go. It would just take the morning, no problem. The kids would go back in the pool, the playroom. They had plenty of stuff to keep them entertained. So that's what we would do. We would go to the timeshare, get our tickets or whatever they had free, and then we would come back to the house and decide what we were going to do for the week. All the kids wanted to go to the water park. I was one of them. I'm like a big kid. Me and my brother, my younger brother, love the water. So we decided that we would go to the park. The next morning, we got up, everybody got dressed, got in the cars, drove to the water park. Once we got inside, we decided to, everybody wanted to know where we were going to go first. So the first ride we decided to get on was called, it's like a huge slide. You climb all the way up to the top, you get in this big inner tube, you sit in the inside of it, and then you go sliding down the slide. So that's what we decided to do. Now, everybody didn't because there were some people who were there to be models, swimsuit models. They came to just sit. They came to just sit, people watch, take videos, and look beautiful. But then there were those of us who was there to get on actual rides. There was a few adults that didn't even want to come there, so they wanted their own. And we was like, great, we're good. So we get in line and you have to walk up steps. And I am like excited, I'm ready. And I kept looking at the sets of steps and I was like, Lord have mercy, I'm climbing up the mountain. I don't Mount Sinai somewhere. It's a big mountain. But anyway, once we get to the top of the mountain, finally, I'm sorry, the top of the stairs, finally, there the guys, they help you get in the inner tube. So the kids decided they were going to ride together. Now, we know why. They wanted me and my brother to ride together to distribute the weight. Kids are shady. So they get in the inner tube, the two sets of them, they get in and they lightweight weight, they get on the ride, they slide all down. So me and my brother, now it's our time. Now, my brother gets in the tube first, and I'm looking around for the little helpers, the people that help you get inside the inner tube. Nowhere to be found. I'm looking around like, what happened to them? They were just here. They helped the kids get in. Nowhere. So I was like, I'm going to just go ahead and pop in and get in. So I made the attempt to get in. Let me tell y'all what happened. I got in, but when I went to sit down, that tube flipped over. My brother went one way, I went the other way, and all you could see was my legs up in the air. I flipped all the way out of the tube in front of all the people who were in line. Thank God my nieces and nephews had already gone down, because you know how that would have went. But when I came up out of that water, let me tell y'all something. I was laughing because I knew everybody was going to be laughing at me, except for some people. You know, some people do have a little bit more heart than others. I came up out of the water with the biggest laugh on my face. My brother came over to make sure I was all right. I made sure he was all right. Then he started to laugh. And then out of nowhere, the two people that's supposed to be helping us, they showed up from nowhere, just popped up. And I said to him, brother, you telling me that they waited until I got in the tube? They looked at me and said, oh no, I'm not helping that woman right there. And they was just, peace, I'm out. And then when I flipped over, they came back so they wouldn't get sued, because nobody was there to help me in. My brother was like, oh, don't be like that. You know, that's not true. Don't be like that. I was like, okay. So they did help me get in. I did not flip over a second time. We went on the ride. Me and my brother, of course, he was joking me and laughing me. Had no problem. I was laughing myself. We get down to the end of the ride. Nieces and nephews, they was like, what happened to y'all? Because we kept looking back, looking for y'all. And I said, look, don't y'all worry about what happened back there. Did you have a good ride? They was like, oh yeah, we had a good ride. I said, we had a good ride too. Because what I did not want them to know is that I flipped out of that too, because the jokes would have never ended the week with the kids. Because y'all know kids can be messy. They don't want you to joke them, but they will definitely joke you. So we went on and they decided what other ride they was going to get on. So I'm going to be honest with y'all. After the flip and the coming down the side, a sister needed a break. So I said, oh, you know what? Y'all go ahead on that ride. I don't want to get on that ride. I really did. I'm going to just go sit down for a few minutes. And when y'all get off that ride, then we can go get on another one. They was like, okay. So I went and I sat with the models and the people that was videotaping. I went and I just sat down, I chilled out with them. And then once I got my crazy self together, I went on some more rides. And we had a great time at the water park. The only person, thank God, that knew that I flipped was my brother. And he was cool. He had moved on to something else. So the next day, we decided that we were going to go to the community pools. Where the townhouses that not townhouses, I'm sorry, the houses that we rented in that community, they had different pools you could go to. They had a pool for just kids of certain age. They had a pool for teenagers, a pool just for adults, and then they had a family pool. And so we decided to go to the family pool. I had my bathing suit on looking cute, my little wrap around my waist, my sandals, my sunglasses, my towel. I was going to the pool and I did not have to worry about flipping out of any inner tube. So we get there, everybody finding out the models, they go over because they don't want to get their hair wet. They had on their bathing suits, they went over their model. And the people who went other places, they shocked me. They went to the pool too. So everybody was at the pool. We get in the pool and we're swimming around and we're having a great time. I get tired, a little bit hungry. So I pop out of the pool and I go and sit down for a little while and I grab me something to eat. And then I waited the 30 minutes. Now, y'all, I have no idea as a child that thing that my mom told us and taught us would still stick with me these years later. However, in our house, and most Black people, I believe, if you went to the beach or the pool or anything and you ate, you had to wait 30 minutes before you got in the water. Now, I don't know if this is something that they made up, but that was a rule for us. So at my age, I still do the same thing. If I go to the to the pool, or if I go to the beach, if I eat, I sit and I wait 30 minutes. That's what I do with the kids, everybody, 30 minutes. They ask me why. I don't know why. That's what your grandmama and your granddaddy said. That's me. So I waited my 30 minutes and I pop up and I go and get in the pool. And I thought that I saw a step, So I went to step down to get in the pool. There was no step there, y'all. Again, I went head first, boom, fell in the pool in front of everybody. I mean, literally fell literally in, went to the bottom. I don't know how, but I hit something on the bottom of the pool. And on the way up, I was like, oh my God, not again. I came out of the water with the two fingers up, like number two. And my brother was the only one that got it because I'm like, this is the second time that a sister then flipped or fell. So I came up and I was hurting. But I was not going to let these people at this pool take my power away. I did just like I did when I flipped out of that inner tube. I came back up and I was laughing along with everybody else. Now, everybody that was in my family didn't see this, but the one person that I would not have liked to see it, she saw it. It was the one person that I did not want. I almost slipped and told you who it was, but I'm not going to do that. This person saw me fall. My brother again came over and made sure I was okay. And I whispered to him, I said, I don't think I'm okay. I said, I hit something. I heard something. And he said, you want me to help you out of the pool? I was like, nope, I'm going to stay right in this pool and act as if nothing is wrong because I am not going to allow these people to be joking and talk. They're already going to joke me, but they're not going to take my power away and make me feel bad and give me the side eye and point at me and joking all that. Nope. So I decided to stay in the pool. I stayed as long as I could. And it got to the point that I was hurting really bad. So I got out of the pool and I told him, I said, I'll be back. I'm going to go back to the house and use the bathroom and all that stuff. So I went in the house and I was like, what is it? Luckily, it was my backside. It was throbbing. I don't know what I hit. If it was a step, I don't know what it was. I checked to see if I was okay. And apparently I hit it hard enough that a bruise began to come up. So I knew I had bruised myself. I knew I had hit myself hard, but I was like, still, they're not going to know about this. So after a few minutes, I go back out and I decided not to get back in the pool because I wasn't sure if me being in the pool, just craziness going through my head with the fall. So I go and I sit down and one of the people who were the models and the videotaping people, she was one of the ones that she wanted to bring it up. And she was laughing at everything. You fell in front of all these people. You fell down and your butt was all in the air. And she was just going on and on and on. And I let it go at the beginning because it was funny. I'm not going to lie. It was funny to me. And but she went over the line. When she crossed the line, I moved my line out of the way and just totally got rid of the line because I'm like, we going there? Let's go there. And I said some things to her that I probably should not have said. But the main thing I said to her, I said, I cannot believe you joking me. I said, we came all the way to Florida and all you want to do is sit on the sidelines, people watch and joke people instead of actually enjoying yourself in a place that you don't come to that often, but you want to sit there and joke somebody else. What you need to do is take a mirror and look at yourself and joke yourself. Because all these other people out here are having a ball, but you sitting over here doing the same thing that you could do at home. When I finished, I'm looking around and I'm waiting for the person that she was with to say something to me because I was ready. Nobody said anything. My brother, he gave me the thumbs up because we think it's thieves. He would have come over. He probably wouldn't have said too much, but he would probably say something like, just let it go. Something, because I call him the diplomat. He liked to bring some order and some peace to situations. But he didn't have to. I said what I said and I left it. But I shared this story with you and I hope you enjoyed it because one of the things I learned, and I always whenever I share a story, I always want to share something I learned. When something like that happens to you, it's okay to laugh along with it because if it's funny, it's funny. Now, if you know that you're gonna laugh if it happened to somebody else, of course you're gonna make sure they're okay. But after that, you're gonna laugh. It's okay to take your power back. Do not give your power away by sitting there, ooh, looking all embarrassing. Laugh that thing off. Even when I got hurt, I laughed it all because what I didn't want is people judging me and all that. And to be honest, I really don't care what other people think, because what is the long shot of me seeing these people again? We are all in Florida on vacations, and when that's over, we going back to our own states. So I took my power back. I did not allow them to make me feel a certain kind of way. And even the person who crossed the line, sometimes you have to cross the line with that person to help them, because they will not stop. And the reason why they continuously do things like that, because people let it go. Now, I don't know if she's ever stopped before. I believe she has, because when I was talking back to her, there were people looking around and listening. She got embarrassed. I did not. She got embarrassed for words. I didn't get embarrassed, but mine was falling in the pool and flipping on that inner tube thing back there on that ride. Ooh. But basically, you all, if anything happens to you like that, laugh it off with the people. If they're laughing, you laugh with it, you joke with it, you be like, I sure did for yes. So hope you enjoyed the story. Do me a favor, thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. And if you have a funny story that you would like for me to share a little bit on it, a little bit of it on one of my next episodes, feel free to leave it in the comments and I will share it. All right, friends, have an amazing day and laugh. It'll make you feel good.